Hey there. Today I want to talk to you about groups, whether you need groups, whether you should join groups, which kind of groups, what groups can offer you, and what they cannot offer you. So this can be kind of a controversial topic. If you're an entrepreneur, groups can be great. They really can. They can be super supportive and they can help you stay on track and keep growing and things like that. But here's the thing. If you're just joining a group because you want to have someone help you with social media, honestly, I wouldn't join a group just for that, because you really can learn all of that just by researching it. There's tons of videos out there on social media, which ones are the best, which ones are not great. And you can do that research and figure out how to do all the social media yourself. All the groups have training on that, yes, but that's really not what groups should really be helping you with. So groups can help you with things that you really can't do on your own. A group can help you with setting your budget goals and staying on track, helping you to know what the rules and regulations are for running a business. So when you're joining a group, you really need to do some due diligence and make sure that the person who is running the group is actually qualified to give you that kind of advice. So you would want someone who has actually been to college and has a degree and probably a certification. I would say like CPA, CFP, someone who has been a CEO, a CFO, someone like that who actually knows what the laws are, what your pitfalls can be, because that's where you're going to get yourself in trouble. And most of us who are entrepreneurs, we are doing this by ourselves. So having someone, namely a group person, to help you define what you want in your business and how to get there, that's going to be really the kind of thing that you want to look for. You also want to keep in mind what your budget is, what your time factors are, and really who you kind of resonate with, right? So each coach is different. Each coach has their own unique things that they offer, although most of them offer the same things. So you really have to be careful when you're joining a group, because what you don't want to do is join a group because someone tells you they made this amount of money in their business. That does not qualify them to train other people to run a business. It just doesn't. It's a combination of education and experience. So we'll take me, for example. I am a CPA. I have been CFOs for companies in the past. I've helped start and run companies. So that's very different than starting and running my own business. So it's easier for me to see things in other people's businesses than it is to see it in my own. And that's because that's where my training comes in. That's where my training and my experience comes in. If you look at some other coaches who do not have that kind of experience, they're really just kind of copy and pasting what they've done in their own business to help others, which is great, but may not work for every person. I'm not saying this to say that other coaches are not great, because there are some really great coaches out there. You just want to really spend your time figuring out which is the best option and really what you're going to get out of it. So pay attention to what's offered in the groups, because that is going to make a big factor in whether you should join that group or not. So if they offer any kind of one-on-one, that's a really good thing. If they offer group kind of calls like Zoom calls, lives are okay, but that's kind of what you're looking for. You're looking for someone who can really help you define where you want to be and keep you on track, because as entrepreneurs, especially creative ones, it's really, really easy to get the grass is greener on the other side syndrome. And it's really easy to say, oh my gosh, that person is selling millions of dollars, so I want to do that. But guess what? That might not be your path. That might not be the thing you need to do. You may need to, just have an extra income. You may not need to replace your whole income. And if you're talking about having $1 million business, well, if you're going to have $1 million business, it's going to take $1 million time. So you really have to evaluate how much time you want to spend and what you want to get out of it, and like what your goals are. So it's really important that before you start your business, or even if you've already started it, you want to spend some time planning out your business. So this is a really, really important first step. Every business does this, no matter what kind of business it is. At least if they're doing it the right way, this is what they're doing. So some entrepreneurs who didn't really know what they were doing and grew fast, they hired professionals to help them do that. And so they may turn around and teach that to their students, but that doesn't mean they really know that. They're really just kind of learning it from someone else and then regurgitating it to their students. So be very careful, please. And make sure that you are looking at your budget when you are doing these. So when you're starting a business, you have to understand that it takes 1 to 3 years to even begin to see a profit. It is a marathon, it is not a sprint. And you really don't want to spend a ton of money over the beginning of your business. And then, in 3 years, you've spent so much money on training and you really haven't gotten anything out of it. And you're really no different than you were 3 years ago. So make sure you're really evaluating your options, what your options are, and which ones you really need to look at. So this is totally different than training for something specific, right? So I'm talking about like training for learning how to design something like that. So design groups, different groups like that, that's totally different. And that's a totally different discussion that we'll talk about at another time. What I really want you to get out of this is to know that you really need to do your homework and make sure that whatever group you join, that you are going to first look at your budget, and then you're going to look at the qualifications of the people who are teaching the classes, and then you're going to think about what you really want out of your business before you do it, because you really want to know where you need to go. So we'll talk more about planning out a business in another tip, but I really hope this helps you, and I'll see you in the next tip.